Hey, EBAPH family, I'm Jen. I'm excited to dive into integrative medicine, specifically acupuncture with Dr. Goodman. So, Dr. Goodman, which pets are the best fit for acupuncture?
That's a great question, Jen. Really, any pet is a good candidate for acupuncture. The only time that I worry a little bit if it's an animal that really doesn't like to come see us and is more on the aggressive side, then those animals tend to not be a good fit. But overall, I would say 95% of the pets out there would benefit from acupuncture and do really well with it. And it's not just dogs and cats either. It's rabbits, it's horses, it's reptiles, it's all different species of animals. The other thing that's really nice about acupuncture is there's actually different ways to do acupuncture, which people don't realize. Everybody thinks that acupuncture is all about putting a needle in their pet, which can be a little bit intimidating, but it really doesn't hurt. And the one thing to think about is if you have a pet that doesn't, let's say, like its feet touch, because we have a lot of really good acupuncture points to help our pets down on their legs and their limbs and their feet or their paws. And with that, if they don't like having their feet touched, we can actually do what's called laser puncture. So with the laser or like laser acupuncture, so with the laser, what it does is it changes the setting of the laser red light so that it's actually at a setting that stimulates the individual acupuncture point. And a lot of animals actually love this and prefer it over the needle. The other thing too is if you think about cats, cats generally do not like their feet to be touched. And so usually we'll do acupuncture with the needles along their back and in some calming points. And then we can use the laser unit on the acupuncture setting in order to stimulate those points that are on the legs and the paws that really help with a lot of different conditions. A final way to do acupuncture without actually having to put the acupuncture needle in and let it sit for 10, 15 minutes or so is to do aquapuncture. And aquapuncture is also amazing, and you'll often see me utilize it with doing the actual regular needles. And the reason we love this is because the aquapuncture is using a diluted vitamin B12, and the diluted B12 is put into an actual specific acupuncture point, and it also helps stimulate that point. And when you stimulate the point with B12, then it actually helps that point to last longer. So if we're working for, let's say, pain, we have an animal that comes in with a lot of pain, and I want that acupuncture session to last a little bit longer, then many owners out there or pet parents will see that at the very end of their appointment, I'll actually have diluted B12 and I'll stimulate some certain points by using that acupuncture technique. And who doesn't need a little extra B12? Pretty much we all do. A lot of people will say, well, what if my animal doesn't need any B12? Because we always say that everybody can benefit from B12, but some animals do have enough B12 in their body. Well, it's not harmful whatsoever. And what happens is that if you have enough B12 in your body, you're actually going to excrete it through urine. So really, there's no harm if your body does have enough B12 in it. We also, I had mentioned if we were using it for pain, acupuncture is actually phenomenal for not just pain. And people a lot of times think of acupuncture just for pain relief because of the human side. But we are actually able to help GI disease. We're doing acupuncture for irritable bowel syndrome and nausea. When an animal is nauseous, there are many really good points that we can use to help stop that nauseousness. We use it for kidney disease. With kidney disease, our goal is we're not necessarily going to change those kidneys and make them go back to perfect and like they were 4 years old again. However, what we can do is we can actually help support those kidneys, and we can actually help hopefully slow the progression of the disease down. Everybody has different goals when they come into the office for a visit with me with acupuncture. And it is extremely important that we all have the same goals. And those goals are always, no matter what. We want to help your fur baby feel better. We want to help them with whatever condition they're coming in with, whether it's pain management for arthritis, whether it's trying to stimulate the nerves to function again in degenerative myelopathy, or slow down the process of the aging changes in the kidneys, and helping animals that are nauseous with irritable bowel syndrome or IBD, irritable bowel disease. The goal is that we're all on the same page to help bring a better quality of life and to help that fur baby stay with you as long as possible. The other great thing about acupuncture is that it can be used in combination with traditional Western medicine. And you don't have to worry if your animal is on medications for seizures or medications for pain management. Sometimes, actually, with acupuncture, we can decrease the doses depending on the condition of the traditional Western medicines. But Western medicine and Eastern medicine are like yin and yang. They flow together, they fit together, and they work together. The other thing too is it safe to use in your pet? It is very safe to use. Now, just like with anything, we do want to be very careful in our geriatric or our senior fur babies. And the reason why is if an animal comes in, a dog or a cat or a rabbit to me, and they're extremely ill, we want to be very delicate with how many points we actually utilize. You can actually overstimulate a body and make them be worse for the first day or two if you're not careful and you're not paying attention to how many needles you're using and how that fur baby that's sitting in front of you is actually feeling. So we always want to be really careful on that first visit and then in a geriatric patient, and we build on top of everything. And so people also need to remember that when conditions have been around for a long time, like a chronic pain condition, we're not going to go from being unable to move very well to running down the street again in one visit. So, if your fur baby hasn't been walking very well for several years, we have to remember that we want to look for baby steps. We want to look to see if your fur baby or your dog, your cat, wasn't going up and down the steps very quickly. Now, is your fur baby going up just a little bit easier? Is it not as much effort? Can we now, if we weren't able to put our front paws up on the back of the car to get into the car, can we now put our front paws up and then we get in with the back feet? And then over time, you at least want to give them 3 visits to make sure that we're seeing a response. But remember, not all responses are huge jumps and leaps. We want to look for those little subtle wins also. And that's extremely key to when we're building and trying to help our fur babies feel better.
Thanks, Dr. Goodman. That was such great information about acupuncture and integrative medicine. Be sure to check out more information on our website and call, text, or email us for more information or to get yourself scheduled for a consultation.